Hi everyone! It's time for another weekly episode of Laman Beats, where we talk about all things music related. This week's topic is actually the musical Into the Woods by Stephen Sondheim.
Not to be confused with the newer movie that came out with Meryl Streep and the guy that's in Game of Thrones and Lily James and others.
We actually watched the recording of the musical on Hoopla, and it is an actual recording of the musical itself, not, like he said, the newer movie.
Which is a good movie. Meryl Streep makes any movie worthwhile to watch.
Well, the musical itself is so good anyway that they had a lot to work with, I think.
Yes.
One of the most interesting aspects of the show itself, I would say, is the princes. Like, their song Agony is one of the funniest songs, I think, in the entire show anyway. But I also like the way they sort of showed the princes weren't really after Snow White and Rapunzel because they were in love with them, because they didn't really have time to fall in love with them. It was just like a beautiful face moment. So in the second half of the show, you can see where the princes have sort of gotten bored. And so they start pursuing other interests, in this case, Snow White and Sleeping Beauty.
Other princesses come into the story.
And one of the best quotes of the show is one of the princes pops off with, I was raised to be charming, but not sincere.
Yes. And he sincerely meant that.
He really did. I think for me, probably the saddest part of the show, going back to the Enchantress and Rapunzel, the song Witch's Lament, which happens right after the witch catches Rapunzel with the prince the first time. It's a really beautiful, sad song. And then in the second half of the show, like following up with that, after Rapunzel dies, the Enchantress sings a song called The Last Midnight, where she basically just sort of loses it and is like, I am done with everything. You know, my adopted child is dead. I'm surrounded by idiots who are all blaming each other for why the giant is here when we're all to blame for what happened. So she's like, curse me back to being old, whatever, just get me away from these people.
Yeah, you see how much she actually loves Rapunzel, but she just did it in a not very nice way. Also, the baker's growth as a person is really exciting to see. Like, watching his courage get bigger and bigger. Because at the beginning, he's like a little scared mouse, and at the end, he's like just a different person. Like, he's grown a lot.
He's like the leader of the group by the end. I love how the whole show itself is basically like a metaphor for life, because that's what the woods are supposed to represent. And as far as the baker goes, when his wife dies, I love the song where it talks about how sometimes people leave you partway through the wood, but it doesn't mean they're like gone forever. It's just a really beautiful like moment, even though at the same time you're like, no, his wife is dead and she cheated on him with a Prince Charming halfway through.
I have no remorse or feel sorry for that baker's wife. Like, I love how she was like, I'm doing this, but no, I shouldn't do this. I'm doing this, but no, I shouldn't do this. I'm doing this. No, I shouldn't do this. And then it just leads to her getting, stepped on. Watching this episode of Laman Beats, and the link is in the description below. You can find this musical on Hoopla, and you can also watch the Disney version on Disney Plus if you have that platform. We hope you guys have a awesome weekend and the next week, and we will see you all later. Peace out.
Bye.